Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are getting into the prime central London luxury rental market.
Yeah, and we're specifically looking at this through the new Beauchamp Estates Prime Central London Letting Survey for 2024.
Right, and the big takeaway for you listening is that this market isn't just, expensive. It's actually being completely reshaped by one single demographic right now.
The headline is totally unavoidable here. Wealthy Americans. They've actually overtaken all other overseas groups to become the dominant force in London's luxury rental tier.
So the old cliche of the Russian oligarch is out and the American tech mogul is in.
Exactly. And it's not just about nationality. I mean, it is completely changing the geography of where big money lives in London.
Okay, so let's look at the map then. Usually when we talk about this level of wealth, we think of W2, right? Like Bayswater or Notting Hill. Is that still the center of gravity?
Well, W2 still holds the top spot for volume. It accounts for about 7% of the deals, but the real momentum has shifted south. The data shows a massive 21% surge in transactions in SW3. Chelsea, yeah, compared to the previous year.
A 21% jump. That is a huge delta for a neighborhood that's already so established.
Yeah.
What is driving people to the King's Road specifically?
It seems to be a migration away from areas like Fulham. The report describes this shift toward a glamorous yet practical lifestyle.
Glamorous yet practical.
Right. These renters want the high-end retail, the aesthetics of Chelsea, but they are prioritizing the convenience of the King's Road corridor over the sleepier streets further west.
And it's not just the socialites either, right? Because the data points to a really heavy influx of families, which brings us up to northwest London.
St. John's Wood and Hampstead, specifically. You can draw a direct line between these new rental clusters and the American School in London.
Oh, okay.
If you're a family relocating from New York or LA, proximity to that campus in St. John's Wood effectively dictates your rental search in that postcode.
That makes total sense. So they're moving to Chelsea for the lifestyle and St. John's Wood for the school. But here's the part I struggle with. These are ultra-high net worth individuals. Why are they renting?
Right. You'd think they would just buy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you have the capital, paying a landlord just seems like dead money.
That is where the climate of uncertainty really comes into play. The survey highlights that many of these Americans are basically hedging their bets against two very specific risks. The first one is the confusion over non-dom tax regulations.
Okay, the non-dom status. That's the rule that lets you avoid paying UK tax on your international income, right?
Essentially, yes. And since the rules regarding how global income is going to be taxed are totally in flux right now, wealthy individuals are hesitant to anchor their capital in a London property.
Because they don't know if they'll be penalized for it later.
Exactly. They rent to keep their tax residency fluid. And the second factor is the U.S. political climate.
The election year jitters.
Yeah. The source notes a specific segment of renters who are skeptical of a Trump presidency. And again, just reporting the survey here, but these folks are looking for a foothold in Europe, but they aren't ready to fully commit yet.
So it's essentially a try before you buy strategy.
Exactly.
But it is an incredibly expensive trial run. I mean, this kind of sudden demand must be doing strange things to rental prices.
It is driving an absolute boom in shortlets, so leases under 6 months. Prices for these short-let houses have jumped nearly 34% year on year.
Wow.
The average is now over £2,700 a week.
A week. And that's just the average. Because I saw the record breaker in the report, a house in Notting Hill going for £45,000 a week.
It is a staggering figure. For that price, you are getting a 5-story, 8,000 square foot mansion.
Incredible.
It has a whole subterranean leisure wing with a swimming pool, spa, a cinema. But honestly, the price tag itself tells the real story.
Right, especially when you contrast it with 2023's top deal, which was around $29,000 a week. The idea that spending £180,000 a month on rent is somehow preferable to buying.
In this climate, yes. It proves that for this demographic, flexibility is the ultimate luxury right now. They are willing to pay a massive premium to avoid being tied down to an asset during a period of geopolitical instability.
It is a fascinating pivot. The luxury market is super resilient, but ownership is clearly yielding to this flexible, ultra-high-end renting.
It leads to a much broader question about how wealth actually interacts with property today.
Right, and that leaves you with a really provocative thought to chew on. If the wealthiest individuals in the world are choosing flexibility over asset ownership during uncertain times, is the whole concept of home shifting.
Like from a permanent asset to a service.
Exactly. Is a home becoming just another high-priced on-demand service, a subscription model for mansions, basically?
It's definitely something to watch.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we will catch you next time.